affect change. I know that I have such a short amount of time here on this earth to make the greatest impact. So how can I go about doing that? Well, a few days ago I had my birthday. And around the time of my birthday, I tend to review my life in the past in terms of past decades. So if we go back to my 20s, I had some pretty good accomplishments, some tick boxes that I could check off. I graduated from UC San Diego, I got married, I moved overseas, I traveled the world, got my master's degree, some pretty good check boxes. Then my 30s rolled around, I can look back on it and go, I did even more. I bought a home, I became a mom, embarked on my career, made some big moves, and I traveled the world some more. Pretty good list of check boxes. Then as I started to approach my late 30s and moved into my early 40s, my list of accomplishments became less and less. And I started to get nervous. I would actually start to panic right around my birthday and feel like, why haven't I accomplished everything I'm supposed to do? What do I have left to do, and how can I get it all done in the short time that I have? So if we rewind back to my 20s, as I mentioned, I got married, and then I moved overseas to Saudi Arabia. My husband was embarking on his career, and I was alone and quite lonely. I had to figure out married life and who Sashi Whitman now is moving forward. I had no support system there, no family, and very few friends. I ended up working for an American entrepreneur and doing some marketing and sales, and that's how I started to like business. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go get my master's degree. So I came back to San Diego, completed my MBA program here at San Diego State, and towards the end of my MBA program, I had the opportunity to go to a small community in Texas called Uvalde. It's near the city of San Antonio. And I was there with my cohort team, and we presented our economic revitalization plan to the board of directors there. And after our presentation, one of the board members came and asked me, what are your future goals and aspirations? And I said to him, I want to work in nonprofit. I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact. I want to see lives change. And he said to me, it sounds to me like you want to effect change wherever you go. I said, that's exactly what I want to do. Thank you so much for encapsulating my dreams and aspirations for me. So I flew back to San Diego, graduated a couple months later from grad school. And lo and behold, was without a job for about 6 months. Now, looking back, that's not that long of a period of time, but when you're so goal-oriented and you're ready to go, when you graduate, you don't have anything ready, it was a huge lesson in humility. So I ended up afterwards getting a job in a small entrepreneurial firm, struggling entrepreneurial company, actually. And then I went from there into corporate America, and I was in corporate America for about 9 years. I liked various aspects of marketing and sales. I flourished in certain areas, but for the most part, I was very unhappy, quite miserable, really stressed out. Wake up in the middle of the night with some panic attacks, anxiety about deadlines I had to meet. I had strained relationships with my boss, with various coworkers. And I thought, well, this is it. This is what I've chosen. I was not making a difference. I was not making an impact. I was not affecting change. So lo and behold, I got laid off in 2009, thankfully. It was a very stressful time, but looking back, it was an opportunity. And I had the opportunity to make a course correction. So I decided to go into teaching. I was teaching college classes in marketing and sales, and I was starting to see that I was making a little bit of a difference, starting to make an impact. But I knew that teaching was not my end path. So I was starting to attend at the same time some professional networking groups. And one of them in particular really stood out to me. It was the Professional Women's Fellowship Group here in San Diego. It's faith-based, and there were some amazing women in that group, really strong leaders in the areas of medicine, politics, law, business, and finance. And I thought, where was this group 2 years ago when I got laid off to try and help me make my next move? Where was this group of women 4 years ago when I was struggling in corporate America, dying on the vine? At the same time, I was hanging out in a multitude of social circles. And many of those social circles, I found my friends and I were in similar journeys in life. married for several years, raising small children, trying to navigate life and everything that's thrown at us. For those of us that have been married for several years, some of us are happily married, some of us are lonely in our marriages. So those of us who are in relationships are trying to nourish it, make sure that they are sustainable and they flourish, that they don't die at the end. Raising small children, not just to be future consumers in society, but future contributors to society. Making sure that we raise these amazing kids. And then also in the midst of all that, trying to figure out our next move, our next path in life. Not just finding a job as a means of a supplemental income, but finding a career or a job that makes our hearts sing, that really uses our gifts and talents and our true passions. So what does that look like? And how can we make those moves? Well, that's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders as women. And it's very difficult to figure all those pieces out, and we tend to drive ourselves crazy and everyone around us absolutely insane. But we've been taught from very young that we've got this. We can do it. We've got what it takes. Power is within us. We can do it. We can do it on our own. You don't need a man. You can stand on your own 2 feet. Don't rely on anybody. Don't trust anybody. You've got this. And so we go through our crazy, busy, hectic days doing a multitude of activities and projects and playing taxi cab for the kids and managing the household and making everything a smooth, well-oiled machine. And then we pull up into our driveways, into our garages, we close the garage door, we close the front door, and we disengage. We retreat. We hide. We make up our own individual silos. We may do some social media, may do some Facebooks and some tweets and some Instagrams and some likes and shares and comments. Is that enough? Is that enough to really move you past point A to point B, to move you past the daily checklist? The daily to-dos, the same show, same time, same channel, same schedule, day after day, rinse and repeat. When I was in Minnesota a few years ago visiting my sister, the first thing that I noticed in the neighborhoods there was that there are no physical boundaries between homes. There are no fences. Where are the fences? How can you distinguish one property from another? Just these expansive backyards, kids, pets running amok. Where are the distinguishing lines? Here in Southern California, we love our fences. We like our physical boundaries. We like our hedges and our shrubs and our giant birds of paradise and our palm trees, and we like to feel secure and safe. But we do like our view. We like to be able to look out in the mountains and the hills and the valleys and the coasts and beaches if we're lucky. But we sure don't want anybody looking in our backyard, engaging with us, looking into our mess, into our chaos, into our stuff. Don't engage with me. You're too busy. You've got enough going on. I'm good. I'm fine. I've got this. So we continue to hide in our individual silos. I believe and I know that there are other women in organizations just waiting for you to connect, to pour into you, to mentor you. We are meant to do life in community with one another, not by ourselves. Is there a cost? Yes, there is a huge cost. It requires our time. We have to be very intentional, very structured, be wise stewards of our time. It requires our energy, which we don't have a lot of. So we have to be engaged, be present, not checked out. And it requires us to be real. So we have to be vulnerable and raw and authentic. People don't want to just get to know the Facebook Sashi or the LinkedIn Sashi. They want to get to know the real me. So I had the opportunity to celebrate my birthday, as I mentioned a couple days ago. It's my birthday week, as a matter of fact. We'll continue, especially after this. And I no longer think of my life just in terms of check boxes or my to-do list or what I've yet to accomplish, or looking at past decades of what I've done and feeling really great about that. I am happy, yes. I am fairly content, yes. Do I have a lot left to accomplish? Absolutely. Absolutely. Am I going to be able to accomplish those things on my own? No way. I'm not just checking off little tick marks anymore. I am like smashing glass boxes. I'm flinging open doors. I'm making bold moves. But I'm doing that alongside others who sustain me and support me. Don't run alone.